Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. Coaches, the JAMODI podcast is powered by Shoot 360. The future of basketball has arrived in Dallas-Fort Worth. Shoot 360 combines the latest sports technology with the fundamentals of basketball skill development. The result is a one-of-a-kind video game-like basketball program designed to improve your shooting, dribbling, and passing. Visit shoot360dfw.com to learn more and register for your free 1-hour workout evaluation. Shoot 360, the future of basketball is here. I love getting to talk with coaches like you you have 30 years of experience. So not just the things that you've learned, but you're also bringing with you all the people that you've talked to and that you've learned from. I can't imagine the rooms that you've been in, the coaches that you've been around, and the time you've spent with them. So what's some of the best things that you've borrowed from other coaches?
I played for Coach Gallion. He was my junior high coach, and then he was my high school basketball coach at the big city of Ranger, Texas on I-20. And, he basically just instilled in us, you've got to work hard, you've got to be present, and, live every day to the fullest. And when you get in this profession, do the same thing and pay it forward, give back, you name it. He's a wise man, still doing it close to 40 years, if not more. We put this out on the Hardwood High that Matt Jones has, about your mentors and stuff like that. Mine's kind of unique. I've been very blessed. Every school I was at, for the exception of San Angelo ISD at San Angelo Central, the football coach was the AD. Okay. And I learned from a very early age, very, young experience, is that you have to work your butt off. The football coach in some places may not really enjoy basketball, but if you connect and you have those relationships and you show those people that you're going to work your butt off and do the right thing on behalf of kids, the relationship and the rapport is going to be so much better. Okay. Coaching other sports may not be for all basketball coaches, but that's how a lot in our profession excel. And let's be honest, we're not all at the 5A, 6A level, just coaching one sport. Yeah. If that's your goal, go for it. That's awesome stuff. But, surrounding yourself with the right people who have the right attitude, are trying to pull in the same direction, that's key. And now going from having basketball coaches as mentors, which I still do, AD football coaches as mentors, which I still do. Now it's overall athletic directors like Stan Leach at Bernie, Philip O'Neill at Mansfield, Kevin Starnes, who just got the College Station ISD job. Those guys have been in the trenches just like others have, and they've got such great wisdom and advice. And so I reach out to them periodically about certain things. Rodney Chant, Mark Baker, just the whole dynamic. And it just keeps you in tune to what is going on. And in turn, you can keep connected to your coaches and help navigate things, because you walk onto a campus and, public education. And if you say, well, I've seen that before. No, you haven't. Things are always changing. There's going to be something new on the horizon, whatever the case may be. So we have to be prepared for that, but also able to, handle the situation, so to speak, and, think very clearly first without reacting. I think we've got to be proactive instead of reactive. Sometimes you have to be reactive, but, we've got to be very, very cautious of just, I guess, making decisions based on emotion.
Yeah.
As compared to thinking about the process, thinking about the consequences, what's going to happen, the whole 9 yards before we make decisions.
Yeah.
And ultimately in this role, just like if you were the head basketball coach, ultimately the decisions that are made have got to be impactful and supportive of our student athletes. And sometimes, coaches, people, parents may not see it that way, but that's the realm we've got to come from. That's the stand we've got to take. I heard somebody, this is Dr. Morath, who's in charge of the state executive committee. He had a great quote, and he basically said, when you assume a role like this, when you're in a role like this, and it's much like being a head basketball coach, you give up the right to be selfish because you are in the service of others, period, plain, simple, okay? And that's how I try to look at it every single day that I step into this role, is I'm here in the service of others. Therefore, I cannot be selfish. I know that's a unique mindset. It's tough. Human nature, you want to have selfish things and thoughts at times, but we've got to ultimately be unselfish in this role. Just like if you're a head basketball coach, you've got to be unselfish, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. It's convicting because I'm thinking back to first year me or second year me. Now I'm in 16 now, and not that I've got it. I definitely don't have it all figured out. I like to think I'm better in building those relationships with, like you said, most athletic directors that we'll have are football coaches also, and football to them is just as important as basketball is to us. But ultimately, if we're territorial over our players, it's not so much that we are it's because we want to win more. It's because we're being selfish. It's because we don't have, this is talking a year to me, we don't have our athletes' best interest in mind when we're thinking this way. So to me, Coach, that is such an important reminder, lesson that, man, there might be coaches out there that get to keep their job longer if they buy into what you're saying at an earlier time, might sidestep some landmines, and then ultimately they'll have, mental health is such a big deal today with players. They'll have athletes that feel the freedom to be able to play the sports that they love, that they're not letting anybody down, that there's no coach speak going on, that, man, I know they really want me to be doing this. So it's a huge lesson that you said.
Right. When I took the San Angelo Central job, very fortunate to get that position, 6A level. I showed up to the field house to watch football practice one day. I'll never forget this. And this kid goes, "Coach, what are you doing here?" "You're the basketball coach." I said, "I'm here to watch you, man." It's just about connecting with those kids, regardless if they play basketball or not. And that was not my focus, to go there just to try to, get kids to play basketball. I wanted those kids to understand and know that I was there to support them as an overall San Angelo Central Bobcat athletic department. And I think that just went a long way. And we had success because those kids came to our games. They supported our basketball players, and it was just a great atmosphere.
All right, Coach. So question for you. Let's just say today after school, I wanted to go over there. What can I do to lessen? Because I think you're right. The reaction is going to be, like, he's never does this. What's he doing? Because, Coach, I think that's how I would feel. On the flip side,
you just have to be.
If they walked in, hey, we're not recruiting athletes during my practice.
Yeah,
we're not.
Yeah.
So I love that. Any advice?
Well, it's just the relationship and rapport you have with those other leaders. You just have to be very, very upfront with them. Say, "Hey, look, I'm here for you, as a person, as a coach, and I'm here for those players as a coach. I'm not over here trying to recruit your kids to play one sport or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're here for the overall program." And I think if you just intentionally have those conversations, it's just going to be better. Danny Henderson did that at Flower Mound Marcus. He gravitated, to those other sports. He got his players going to football games. He got his players involved in other sports as far as, spectators, fans, and the whole culture and atmosphere at Flower Mound Marcus just blossomed. And I guarantee you he's doing the same thing now at Richland High,
I thought this might help if I am really, really wanting to do this myself, because it's something 16 years I've never done. I've never willingly gone out to a football practice.
And you know what? You know what I would do on Friday nights? I'd stand on the sidelines just to support those kids.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same thing. Like, it's funny, the administrators here say, "Hey, Coach, where are you going to be on Friday night? I said, I'm going to be on the sideline, man, rooting for the team. That's where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like tomorrow night I'll be on the sideline for the freshman JV games. You know, if we're having a volleyball game, I'm going to be right there behind the benches, rooting them on. And I'm not there to, you know, interject my coaching philosophy.
Right.
You know, I'm not there to question what the coaches are doing. I'm there as a fan and as a supporter, because those coaches will see it, those players will see it, and they'll appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I give them high five, shake their hand after the game, whether we win or lose. You know, that's all part of it, because you know as well as I do, you've been in the college programs where it was at the lowest of the low. You know,
yes.
You've got to be able to handle, you know, the low parts of the profession, coaching, games, you name it. You got to be able to handle the adversity and be able to grow from that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's, you know, that's all part of it.
I think my action step is going to be to either email or text or try to get our football coach, have a conversation, kind of preparing him. Hey,
right.
What coach, what do you think about me coming out to a practice? And honestly, I love learning from coaches. I want to know more about, because I don't know a lot about football. I don't really know the ins and outs. So when I'm standing on the sideline at the games, I am clapping, but I mean, I just want to know more, and I want to understand, maybe get some golden nuggets on how you're doing things. And maybe if I approach it that way, he'll be more welcoming out, instead of, again, how I would feel if somebody just showed up and I didn't know and they've never done that. So I'm wondering if that might help.
Oh, that's completely true. You know, you know the situation you're in better than anybody.
Right.
So that's a great way to approach it. You know what I'm saying? And just be honest when you're doing that.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.